Hey everybody, it's Randy Corporon. We had an amazing show this morning. It was on fire, phone call after phone call. Hot topic, for the most part, was unfortunately the red flag bill, which led to a conversation in the 8 o'clock hour about the upcoming, it looks like fairly well organized already, and I heard more about it here today, effort to recall Sheriff Tony Spurlock. Even Sheriff Spurlock called in. He didn't go on the air, but he was listening, and he said he would come on the air. He asked me to call him, and I'll do that. So jumped out of there, came over here to the Inglewood High School where we had the Republican State Assembly, and what a dramatic vote it was. 4 rounds of voting. Sherry Gibson was the bottom vote gatherer. Steve Barlock was there as well, but a very small percentage. But Sherry Gibson, after the 3rd round, I think it was, pulled out, threw her support behind Ken Buck, and boom, we had a majority. Hey, it's Randy Corporon from Wake Up with Randy Corporon at 710 KNUS, standing here with my good friend Congressman Ken Buck. When you're in Colorado, do we need to call you Chairman Buck or Sir, or what's your favorite there?
Ken. Yeah, Ken would work.
Just like always, in other words.
That's all right.
All right, so it was a pretty dramatic in there. Went through 4 votes. The numbers were shifting each and every time, and then Sherry Gibson pulled out and threw her support behind you, and that sealed the deal. Right. How do you feel while you're going through that? I mean, you've won elections before, but they've never been this close.
So I really felt like people drove a long ways. Some of them stayed overnight, and we needed to give them some excitement. So we did our very best to give them some excitement.
Just the way you planned it,
That's
in other
exactly
words.
right. I tell you, Susan Beckman ran a heck of a campaign. She was well organized. She started early. There was a lot of loyalty for Susan. I called a lot of her supporters and talked to them, and they were just adamant supporters. And I have a huge amount of respect for Susan and Sherry for the job that they did. And so it was a close race, but it wasn't unexpected to me. I'm fortunate to have been given this opportunity, but I really feel like it wasn't close because I didn't do my job. It was close because they did a great job on their side.
A lot of grassroots people, Tea Party, kind of the liberty activists, if we go back to the old Liberty lineup days over at the old radio station, were pushing me, saying, if you're supporting Ken and Steve House, who's been the chairman before, you're taking a step back, you're jumping in with the establishment. I was getting those kinds of things. What can you say to those folks who were adamant Susan supporters, most of them, to kind of bring them back around and give you guys a chance?
So that's the first time I've been called establishment.
Yeah.
I don't think the establishment in D.C. considers me establishment. Now, obviously, being state party chair is an establishment position.
Sure.
I still consider myself a Tea Party. I still consider myself a grassroots kind of politician, and I'm going to get back to the grassroots, and I hope to earn their support. I vote like a Liberty Republican. I speak like a Liberty Republican, and I will, as chair, make sure that everyone is included in this party.
Yeah, it was kind of my response too, as a Tea Party leader here in Colorado, to be called, oh, you've become an insider or something like that, just seems kind of silly, and I would just encourage everybody to give it a chance. Remember what our goal is, and remember who Ken Buck is, and so give him a chance. To me, it was a benefit to have someone who's been through that drill before, Steve House. He did some good things as chairman, as far as financially, and I just believe that the two of you can hit the ground 100% full speed, because you have the national connections for fundraising, one of the most important roles that you have. Steve has the experience to step back in and kind of manage the day-to-day of the party.
Right.
So I assume that's why you picked him.
Well, that, and he has a love for digital and for social media, and I think he's really, in the last 2 months, spent a lot of time interviewing companies and individuals and developing a strategy so that those unaffiliated voters who share our values, we can identify them and we can talk to them early on about why they should support President Trump and Senator Gardner.
What's the first thing that you do out of the gate? Make it the last question.
Yeah, I think one of the first things is we've got to unite. I need to get on the phone. I need to send people a letter. I need to thank people for their support and assure them that I have the ability to listen to them and really want to hear their input. And then we need to start setting priorities. This is not going to be a fire, a ready, aim situation.
Sure.
So I want to make sure we have a plan in place, and I want to make sure that we move forward with that plan.
I said last question, but there really is no time to waste. The Democrats have a head start in the ground game and all that, so money needs to come in. Systems need to be implemented right now.
Absolutely.
All right. When will you choose your leadership team?
Well, it's really going to be a volunteer-based team that I'm looking forward to putting together, and a lot of those people have said yes, and I'll start announcing them in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. That really was the last question. Ken, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Good luck. Have a great week, everybody. Join us next Saturday, 6 to 9 a.m. for Wake Up with Randy Corporon. And always remember, God loves you, and so do I.